Back in Denver. I've been here for a couple weeks now. Haven't been able to get out to the farm because, well, mainly because I've been trying to get my roof repaired because our homeowners association here doesn't like my cedar shake roof for good reason, but it's what I have and it's been pretty dependable. So I've been working on that, and I went and looked at a couple cars yesterday pretty close to here, so I wanted to get that done. I've been trying to coordinate with the guy to go out there and meet, and really been trying to get Skylark back on the road. Essentially, it needs the generator to work, and then I can start driving it around. So I'm just going to mess with that and see if I can get it to start charging the battery again, and then go from there. But it's kind of where I'm at. So generator has not been charging the battery, so I'm going to clean the terminals up and check voltages, and also check out the voltage regulator and just see if I can find a problem with that system. If not, I do have a replacement generator that I'm hoping will work. If I do end up needing to replace the generator, I ended up buying this one. Holy moly, that is a heavy thing. That's plan B. So this just isn't probably going to work because the shingles I have are quite a bit shorter. So I thought I could kind of do a couple and even them out, but I'm just really struggling to get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and order the right length shingle. Probably redo this whole section. As I got into it, they just started crumbling on me. So I know it's time to get a new roof, but first it's time to get a job, then get a roof. So I tried to get the Buick running to where I could drive it out to the farm. Decided that I didn't want to work on it in my garage in Denver anymore because it's just too crowded in there. And then I decided that I really didn't want to drive that car through the city because I can't go 80 miles an hour in it, and it's kind of scary driving around Denver unless you can like hit 80. They don't seem to like the old cars putting along. So I thought, well, I'll haul it out back to where I bought it and I'll drive it from there. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to take it to the farm and I'm just going to get it going. It's got a few things it needs on it. It's starting to leak oil pretty bad, so I need to fix that. And I will do some work on it and make it a bit more reliable, and then we'll do a little road trip from the farm. Instead of the road trip from Denver to the farm, it'll be a Nebraska road trip. We'll do a little exploring in the Skylark. Almost back to the farm with the Buick. Really bummed that I'm towing it out here instead of driving it out, but I am happy that I'm getting it out here, so take it for a little cruise later. Get her some dirt road time. The other thing that we decided to do was get the little house electrified, kind of initiated by the floor guy needing a 30 amp service. So I got a call today from the electrical contractor, and they had some guys, and they came out and they're here working on getting us power right now. So heck yeah. Bringing these guys. Utility company gave us a new pole too, because we requested a bigger panel here. So this is 200 amp. Used to feed the grain bin fans, and then the well pump, and the big house used to be fed overhead through that tree. That's all been abandoned or removed actually. At the end of the day, we're gonna have power to the little house. Pretty gall darn excited. Amazing what the right equipment will do. It would have taken me a month and a half to do that, and it would never have actually gotten done. So I'm gonna go in there tonight and turn the lights on, plug the radio in, and have a beer. Progress. I wish I could have that. So he's got that all buttoned up. Trench is all backfilled. So that'll come up into here, and then that's probably hot from the main panel, from the main service. We'll go down into the basement and then back up. And we'll have power to the little house. So the electricians just left, and we got our new panel in. It's plenty of capacity for future build out. I'm not gonna complain, but I wish it was a smaller panel with not so many spare breaker slots. I don't know what that is. Huh. Wow. They love terminating those old wires to this. And they left the cover off because we ran this 220 50 amp outlet for the floor machine, and then when he's done we'll pull that off. That's all good to go, and we have lights. He tested all the outlets and they all work. So, pretty wonderful. So anyways, exciting. I don't have to run the extension cord over here for the lights anymore. Tried to make a fire before it started raining. Wanted to see if the fire could beat the rain. The rain's winning out right now because it's raining hard. I think the rain's gonna win. So we've been having a lot of rain, and I was afraid that the basement was going to be all flooded out, but it's not too bad. So I came down to check on what the electricians did. This is pretty cool to have lights down here. It is wet from the rain, but looks like water was probably coming in there. We've only had this place for about 3 years, and we're not out here all the time, but I've seen some pretty hard rains, but nothing like yesterday. So this is where they brought the power in. I came down just to shove that steel wool in there because I was afraid mice might start going into that conduit. So I just felt like the mice would love that little tunnel, and they'd go up into the panel and cause all kinds of havoc. Weird, that's kind of coming off. Huh, why was that coming off? So anyways, pretty cool to have lights down here. Now I gotta come back down and clean it out again, but still feels like progress. So we ended up getting about 5.5 to 6 inches of rain that night. It was 3 nights ago now, but just over here looking at the pond. There used to be a pond over here. Since we've moved in, it's never really had water in it, but that 6 inches of rain filled it up, and then we got another inch the night after that. I would love for this to stay here. It goes over here and it goes all the way to the trees. It's all pretty deep water. Over by the trees, it's a couple feet deep now. So it'd be cool to have this stick around and have some waterfowl show up. One day I was out walking around and there was a couple ducks that flew overhead and they were looking for somewhere to land. And it'd be cool if they would come back now. Anyways, maybe someday I'll get a backhoe and dig this out a little bit so that we can have a little pond over here. Just out driving around trying to look at some of the damage done by the storm. The road was closed down here. I don't know. Maybe it was because of this. I say it looked like people actually got through this one, but it's just the grader. This must be where the road was closed, and then they came and kind of fixed it a little bit. But it's amazing what 5 inches of rain will do, and I think it's great, but I don't know how the farmers are liking it. Probably, you know, too much in too short a time. I want to go exploring, but I can't really get too far. That just looks like an old lake that finally got refilled. I haven't seen water in there since I've been living here. Maybe I just haven't noticed, but it's beautiful. I'm pretty happy with the way the Skylark is running. Just wanted to get it out for a little cruise on the dirt roads. It's a exceptionally beautiful evening. The storm came through and I thought I was going to have to hunker down in the cabin, and got a little windy but not too much rain, and I thought, you know what, it's a perfect night to take the Buick out for a drive on the dirt roads, and so happy I did. And she's running pretty good. I am going to still try to rebuild the carburetor. I'm not going to ever give up on that because I paid for the rebuild kit, but other than that, she's just being a beautiful car. Might want to look into the headlight issue too, but I really liked having it in Denver because it's a pretty reliable car that I can hop in and actually drive around. I've got it got it registered and insured, and it's legal and it's semi-reliable. I think the generator issue was really just me not understanding how generators work. They don't charge unless they're at a certain RPM, so it just wasn't charging because I was putting around the neighborhood and I wasn't really getting the engine revved up enough to charge it. So it seems like it's actually charging the battery, so I probably will back off on the generator repair, but I really don't see a lot of these. I'm going to try to get it to a car show, and it seems like I could meet some Buick people and learn some more about these cars. Someday I think I will do a little video on these little kind of almost compact cars they were making in the early 60s. So I've got the Corvair and this, and then the Oldsmobile F85 and the Pontiac Tempest, and all these cars were trying to be smaller and more fuel efficient and cheaper and more reliable. So glad you guys were able to tune in and watch this. I hope you find some enjoyment in this old car. Cheers from Western Nebraska.